But Snow White has been going through detrimental issues, and that's all because of Rachel Zegler. Now, they spent like $270 million in this movie, of course, about how Rachel came forward and she just started like trash talking the fans, talking about politics. And again, I get it. Like, a lot of times you're an actor, you think that you have a voice, needs to be heard. But I will say this in the day, because I'm an actor too, guys. I get it. You think sometimes like, oh, I can have an impact. The thing is, you got to think about this though too. You're a brand and you're part of a business. And we've talked about this multiple times on Cruise Control, right? And Rachel Zegler, when she got cast as Snow White, people are already going after her because, as we've said in the show and people have said, Snow White, her her skin as you know, as white as snow. You know what I mean? Like, that's already a thing going against you, that people are like mad because they were mad because like you look like Snow White. That was a problem for a lot of people. I get it. Whatever to me. That's what I say, whatever. But people are mad at you. And then you start putting your foot in your mouth about politics. And then Mickey Mouse is like, don't say that because you're going to turn some fans off because we're a brand. And of course, fans got mad. And it got so bad, apparently, that they were trying to talk to her about it. And Gal Gadot started getting death threats because she played the queen, but she's an Israeli. Now, we've said that before. And she started talking about pro-Palestine. You can have pro-Palestine stuff. That's your take, you know what I mean? But when your lead is also Israeli, and now people are going after her, and Disney's saying, please stop talking about this, because now Gal Gadot's uptake of death threats are happening. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. I don't think Rachel Zegler will ever work for Disney again. Look at the opening numbers, $43.5 million opening weekend. I expect this weekend to probably be $15 million. That's what I'm going to say. Maybe 10. I think it's going to be a horrible weekend for Disney. And Gal Gadot, apparently after opening weekend, her death threats increased tremendously. And that's not a good thing. You're an actor. You're putting it out there because you love a craft and you want to make people laugh, cry, or be entertained. That's what we do it for. We do it for entertainment, not for death threats, not to make people mad, to make people have joy. It's an escapism. And Rachel Zegler, she got told by the higher-ups, and she still doubled down, and she got her cast member in trouble. That's not good. And if anything happens to Gal Gadot, that's on her. And I don't think that's right. I just don't think it's right. This is a movie about a sleeping woman that's like falls in love. It's a fairy tale. Why are people threatening to kill people off a fairy tale? It's bullshit. It's shenanigans. It's wrong, and it upsets me. But I think right now we have to talk about it because, again, at the end of the day, it shouldn't be happening. And in all this world, let's go to the panel fast. In this world, do we think that Snow White can come back from this at all? I don't think so. Valarie, what do you think? Do you think that Rachel Zegler will ever work for Disney? And do you think that Snow White can somehow turn around? And are you shocked by this whole Gal Gadot thing? Because to me, I was like, death threats just seemed insane to me.
Well, I'm going to say what my father says when I show him a meme that I think is funny, and that's that people have too much time on their hands. So, that's kind of wild. I don't understand why people would be giving either of them death threats. I think that's extremely overkill. Like, you have nothing better to do than to send this actor who doesn't know you or care if you live or die, like, that you want. Like, that's just ridiculous to me. I don't think she'll ever work for Disney again after this. And I have been seeing so many TikToks of just like hate for Gal Gadot specifically. Like,
yeah,
so much stuff about like, she's a terrible actress. This is a compilation of her worst delivered lines and all this stuff. And she gets a lot of hate, like a ton of hate. It's kind of insane. I love the story of Snow White. I wish that it could do better, than it's doing. Cause every little kid knows that story, and it's sad. I think.
I agree. It is sad. And honestly, Disney's been in this whole like, let's make the live action version of all of our big classics, of course. And that was a massive one of their first ones, And I think that it's really unfortunate. And I see Queen said the worst thing about Snow White is it's boring. I didn't see it yet. I'm still intrigued. I still want to watch it. I might go see it this weekend. Plagued with issues of production issues already too. And it's just infuriating. Just tell the story. There was the whole thing about the dwarves too, where they were like, we don't want to make them, because they didn't want to cast little people, but then little people are mad because they're like, that's 7 jobs that could have been gone for us with great money. And then all of a sudden they did change it back to being, but now it's CG. I mean, the whole idea of this was just convoluted from the beginning, if you ask me. I think they should have just done the story, done it for what it was, and then maybe we would have had a fine movie,
So were they trying to be PC
Yes.
by not casting little people?
That's how they were starting. They wanted to have them all different, like a 7-foot tall dwarf, and then like a normal little person. They were trying to do
7-foot tall. You're not a dwarf. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, I guess it'd be what do we call them at this point? Her friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah, her pals.
Her pals, her 7 pals,
friends.
Oh yeah, they're pals.
Well, GR's got a different take on this, I think.
Oh my gosh. I would love to know. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You finish your thought.
Oh, I was just going to say, I would love to know what the majority of little people think about casting them in these roles, because I know for so long, that was the only kind of role that they would give people, little people at all. They could only be like fairy tale
creatures
essentially. So I get where they were coming from, but also, I don't know. It's I would just love to hear more people's their take on it. What I think is whatever.
That was the whole thing with Peter Dinklage. Like Peter Dinklage had come forward and was like, yeah, he was like, I don't really feel like this is appropriate, for us anymore. Like we should be doing better roles like he has done, which I get. But then there was also the backlash from the community being like, but these are 7 big jobs for us that can pay very well. And so then that's when things shifted. And it's just, I get it. It's unfortunate. And it's unfortunate that little people have been characterized as this kind of like, you have to be a fairy tale character than just being an actual person. He was very lucky to get Game of Thrones. And I think that was fucking-tastic for the community. It really was to showcase what you can do, and then they take you away from that horrible category to be stuck in. Like that's all you're good for. It's not right. It's not fucking right.
No, not at all. Not at all. It height doesn't matter. They're completely talented people.
Yeah, you're actors. You're fucking actors. End of the day. GR, what do you think about this Zegler thing too? We've been talking about Snow White constantly on here as this has been building up. I remember when the first idea of it being announced was here, we were talking about the problematic stuff with the production. Do you think, do you agree with Valarie that Zegler probably will not work for Disney again? And do you think that she should have maybe listened to Disney and not kept putting her foot in her mouth? Or was that's insane, right?
An actor that actually listens? Come on.
Yeah.
But Val is absolutely right. If that young woman ever works for Disney again, I'd be shocked as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, she did what we've talked about many times on this show. Another actor that opened her big mouth and stuck both feet in it.
Yeah.
And the death threats to Gal Gadot is ludicrous. I mean, so she's Israeli. I mean, it shows how much anti-Semitism there is still around.
Yeah. You're right, GR.
And she's I love the woman as an actor. I appreciate her skill and her versatility. I mean, she's incredible. The young woman may have shot her career right in the ass.
I think there's a great chance she did, GR. The thing about how much money.
Well, and the movie as a total, and I'm going to put this bluntly from what I've seen of it, it sucks. It took a great story that every one of us knows and ruined it.
Yeah.
I mean, as we were saying, the 7 actors could have, of Little People, or whatever you want to call it, the politically correct way of addressing them now, like I give a shit about that, but the 7 dwarfs were 7 little people. Get a grip on it, guys. Don't have to be politically correct just because the world wants you to be. Tell the story the way it was written and let it go at that. And instead, they fucked it up.
Yeah. It's and the thing is, like, they kept trying to shift away from it, change it, get back to it. That's always problematic. That's just money. You just keep spending more and more money, and then all of a sudden the budget's $270 million, and you're like, well, how do we get here? How do we make money now? You don't make money at that point. You lose money, right, Ronald, Todd? You lose money at that point.
You definitely lose money. You lose a lot of money. Yes.
What do you think about this? Like, death threats against actors sticking their like sticking it out there, putting their political views when a movie hasn't even come out yet. Was this destined to get to this point?
I'm having a deja vu from this, right? Am I correct with that?
we've been yep, we have, yes.
I think okay. There's a death threat is never.
We did the Michael Jackson death threat recently. There were the Michael Jackson was against the director. That's what we were talking about, because the fans were mad about Michael Jackson's our documentary coming out. So
a death threat is never a solution for anything. It's a blanket statement. There's no, but what if, but what? No. So that's ridiculous. Actors are acting like actors, which can be ridiculous. It's just, there's so much silliness in it. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody's important. Everybody needs to shut up.
Everybody needs to shut up.
In Hollywood, Ron?
I know.
Maybe do your job. You know what I mean? Like, maybe do what you...
And shut up.
Hit your mark, find your light, and go home.
Yeah. I love how Queen said she was very bland, too. And she could have been. I mean, I'm going to watch it still. I will watch it this weekend. I gave them some money. But are you shocked by, like, there's trolls everywhere, of course. But are you shocked by, like, the hate that Gal Gadot's getting too on top of this?
Brian, I'm not shocked about anything in the entertainment industry anymore, and I'm becoming not shocked about anything in the government. So I'm becoming jaded.
Becoming jaded. Yeah, well,
real.
I think we're all jaded about a lot of these things that happen in the business, and what's been going on, and I think I just wish that people were just, at the end of the day, just like thought about somebody else besides themselves. And I think, and I think when an actor does this too, they're just thinking about themselves more than the bigger picture. And that's what we get here.
Absolutely.
And it happened with Sophia Gascon, and then she's joking about it too. It's happened a bunch recently as we talk about the death threats of Michael Jackson. It's just not right. It's unfortunate. We're better than this as a community, as a society, as a people. And at the end of the day, I don't want to trash talk Rachel Zegler. I don't want to do that. But I would say there is a little bit of learning she has to go through, a little bit of growth she has to go through. I don't want to say that she shouldn't be done as acting, but I think that I hope at the end of the day, she learns something from this experience and hopefully it doesn't kill her career. Because I think she's young and she's got a lot of opportunity. But I think at the end of the day, that's up to, again, the business, which is not that forgetful. And not that, they just don't give up on these things. So like, you lost this money.
I'm sorry. You just made me think, Brian, in the old days, the actors were studio actors. They were on contract with studio. They learned everything about their craft, what to do, how to show up to a red carpet, who to show up to a red carpet with, what to eat, everything. And that got them through all of it, and it made it the mystique of Hollywood. Now you get off a bus you get an agent, and you do a $270 million movie all within 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And people, the majority of people buy into the fame. I love watching actors, people that are trained actors, and their advice to everyone is, don't buy into the fame. It's not real.
Yeah.
When somebody says, I want to be a star, it's just like, oh, fuck, oh, wow, that's trouble. It's a false, it's something people are grabbing into. And it's just, but it's interesting because I think about like the grand times of the 40s, 50s, and they were all taken care of, like L.B. Mayer, and, took care of all of them. And that was important.
I loved how they used to like live on the lot too and jump from show to show to show.
Yes.
You were a working actor at that
all
point.
Those little houses on the outsides of Paramount and stuff. Those were just all little pilot houses. They'd come in for pilots.
Yep. And they just jump around. What's up, Tim? They just jump around, I think those days were fantastic. It was a different business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, these kids sometimes, and it could be anybody from any walk of life, they get that one opportunity. They're not ready for it. They don't understand the machine. They don't understand the wheel. And then they mess it up. And then they're wondering, like, well, why? They're stuck there. Like, why am I failing now? Why am I not getting any jobs? Because you don't understand the business.
Exactly. We have two friends that are successful, and both of their parents are very, very in control of those two careers, or were when they were kid actors, and they've turned out to be lovely, responsible adults. Go figure. Family,
shocker.
The foundation of family. Wow.
It might go a little ways, right?
Exactly. Hey, did you hear about Ariana Grande going up for the Britney Spears movie?
Oh, I did hear that.
Okay.
I did
Really?
hear that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't see it at all, but it's like, wow, of course. Okay.
Yeah. Well, because she said she had a bunch of things people were offering her and she wasn't sure, and she was like holding off. And that's interesting because I think she has the voice. She comes from that was she Disney before, or was it Nickelodeon? She was Disney, right?
She was a Nickelodeon girl.
What was the show?
Victorious and Sam and Cat.
She was a total Nick girl. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
So she gets that. Was she on a Mickey Mouse Club thing too at all? I feel like she was like in a new Mickey Mouse Club. Maybe I'm.
Britney was, but
way off my rocker.
I don't remember.
It's had drinking.
Ariana.
Yeah. I just don't see her as Britney, but I think it's interesting.
She's too slight. She's so she's tiny. It's just
tiny.
Yeah.
Not believable. I mean, not only tiny in bone mass, but like she's short,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't see it because, Britney had a lot of battles with her weight, and I'm sorry that we're talking about this. It's not even one. And they were very public, and she wrote songs about it. You just talk about my waist and, stuff like that. So anyways, enough with that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I get it. One more thing, again, as we've been talking off the topic too, I just want to say this because I forgot about this earlier. When we were talking about White Lotus, Aubrey Plaza was on White Lotus too, of course, last season. And I don't know if everybody saw, but her husband, of course, killed himself. But that recently came out they had broken up. So it's unfortunate that a relationship made the man take his life. I would say at the end of the day, I get breakups are tough, but you gotta take one step forward, keep moving that next step forward, keep getting up every morning because tomorrow will be better than it was yesterday, and eventually you're going to be happy that you got yourself up every day, and you're going to be a better person because of it. That's all I'm saying. So at the end of the day, guys, please take care of yourselves.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.